The scientific method in biology. Welcome to the wonderful world of Al-Baqi International, and I am your friend Al-Baqi Roboquick. Dear students, today we are here to learn about the scientific method in biology. Introduction. Scientists take specific steps for doing scientific work or research. These steps are called the scientific method. For biological research, these steps are called biological method. Steps of scientific method. The following steps are involved in scientific method. Recognition of a scientific problem, observation, hypothesis, deduction, experiments, and results. Recognition. The first step involves identifying and defining a scientific problem, which can be a specific issue or phenomenon that scientist wants to investigate. Such problem is either asked by someone or comes in biologist's mind by himself. For example, a biologist notices that plants in an area are growing taller than usual. He develops a scientific problem. What factors are responsible for the increased growth of these plants? This problem becomes the starting point for a scientific inquiry. Observation. Scientists make observations about the problem. They use 5 senses for making observations. They also read and study the previous researches on the same or related problems. Observations may be qualitative or quantitative. Types of observation. Observations can be classified into 2 types: qualitative observations and quantitative observations. Qualitative observations. Qualitative observations involve observations that cannot be measured with numbers. For example, the color and texture of a plant. Quantitative observations. Quantitative observations involve measurements or numerical data that can be expressed in terms of quantity. For example, the number of birds in a tree. Quantitative observations are more accurate than qualitative observations because quantitative observations are invariable, measurable, and can be recorded in terms of numbers. Hypothesis. On the basis of observations, scientists develop a statement that may prove the answer of the scientific problem under study. Such tentative answer of scientific problem is called hypothesis. Scientists make many hypotheses for a single problem. Characteristics of a good hypothesis. A hypothesis has the following characteristics. It is a proposed statement to answer the problem. It always matches with the available observations. It can be tested through experiments. There is always a way to disprove the hypothesis. Deduction. Scientists develop logical results from their hypothesis. Such logical results of hypotheses are called deductions. Usually, deductions follow the pattern of if-then statements. Scientists assume that if hypothesis is true, then what might be the results? For example, hypothesis. Leaf discoloration and stunted growth in a plant are caused by a deficiency of iron in the soil. Deduction. If iron deficiency is causing the symptoms, then adding iron to the soil will improve the colors of leaves and promote plant growth. Experiments. The most basic step in the scientific method is testing hypotheses through experiments. A successful experiment confirms one hypothesis while rejecting others. Scientists accept the proven hypothesis, make new deductions from it, and conduct further experiments to verify its accuracy. Control group in experimentation. When scientists do experiments, they arrange two settings. One is called experimental group and the other is called control group. For example, to test if carbon dioxide is needed for photosynthesis, two similar plants are used. One plant, which is experimental group, gets no carbon dioxide, while the other, control group, does. The necessity of carbon dioxide will be proved when photosynthesis does not occur in the experimental group but occurs in the control group. Results. Scientists gather data from their experiments. They use statistical analysis and graphs to summarize the results. Scientists also include a list of all the references in the summary to acknowledge the sources of information. Reporting the results. Scientists publish their findings in scientific journals and books. They also share the findings with other scientists. For this purpose, they create a scientific report and give presentation in national and international meetings and seminars. Theory. When experiments confirm a hypothesis, scientists use it to form new hypotheses. If further experiments continue to support it, the hypothesis becomes a theory. A theory is supported by extensive evidence and is repeatedly validated by multiple researchers. For example, the theory of evolution explains how species change over time through natural selection. Law and principle. Scientists keep on testing the theories by doing experiments. They try their best to disprove the theory. If a theory is proved again and again by experiments, it becomes a law or principle. A scientific law is a uniform or constant fact of nature. Examples. The examples of biological laws are Hardy-Weinberg law and Mendel's laws of inheritance. Concept check. Describe the difference between qualitative and quantitative observations. Write the characteristics of a good hypothesis. Define theory. So, dear students, today we have learned about the scientific method in biology.